Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel Data Tech. I'm your host Anand Kumar, and today we have an exciting topic to explore, Amazon Redshift Spectrum. So let's start. Let's find out what exactly is Amazon Redshift Spectrum. It is a powerful feature of Redshift that enables us to query vast amount of data from S3 without the need to load or move data into the Redshift storage. So basically we can query S3 data without moving it from S3 to Redshift. Here we pay only for the number of bytes scanned, not for the storage. And here are some benefits of Amazon Spectrum. The first benefit is save time. This eliminates the cumbersome process of transfer data from S3 to Redshift and enabling us to directly querying within the S3 bucket. The other benefit is its cost-effective scalability. With Redshift Spectrum, we can scale the computer resources independently from the storage. It's separating the storage and the compute, because storage, the data is stored on S3 while we are using the Redshift compute resources to run the query. And another important feature is it add data lake capabilities to a data warehouse. By leveraging Spectrum, we can unlock the power of a data lake. We can unlock the power of the data lake within a data warehouse. Think it as a bridge that connects the data warehouse and S3 data lakes, which creates a seamless and a unified analytics environment, because as we can query data which is stored in S3 without loading it, and whatever the data we already have in Redshift, that's a relational databases, and we can join them and create a unified analytics environment. Now let's look let's discuss how Redshift Spectrum works with S3. As we can see in the picture, there is an additional services. You can see in between, from S3 and Redshift Spectrum, there are a couple other Athena and EMR is also mentioned, but don't worry about them at this moment. But if you look at this picture, in the middle we find AWS Crawler, AWS Data Catalog. Basically, there is an additional service called AWS Glue is required for facilitating the Spectrum ability to read data from S3. And just for your understanding, AWS Glue is a service which is used for data transformation and data cataloging. And in this case, where we want to read data from Redshift Spectrum to S3, we specifically utilize the data catalog feature only. Redshift Spectrum is able to read S3 data without loading is using external tables. And yes, it's similar to the external tables which we all aware exist in SQL Server, Hive, or Oracle. So here in the demo, we will see this, it will be more clear, but basically these external tables are created in a external database or a data catalog. So Amazon Redshift have an external schema which do the reference to these external databases of the data catalog. And external data catalog could be, here in this diagram, it's AWS Glue, but it can be your a Hive Metastore or Athena and all those kind of things. But for this demo and for this video, we will be just focusing on AWS Glue Data Catalog. I personally prefer AWS Data Catalog over others because of its other features. So one of them in Glue, we can define the structures of the files using the crawler. So we don't have to do it manually. The AWS Glue crawl through the files and prepare the a metadata for those tables, or you can from those files, or we can say it registered those files as tables within the external data catalog or the external database, which makes our life easy. And similar approach can be used for if you look at the flow of data, okay, data sits in S3 through Glue, we are reading in Spectrum, and then doing reporting on top of that, or business intelligence, using some business intelligence tools. Similar things can be done using Athena and EMR. So same service, you can say there are like multiple options to do similar kind of activities within AWS, but Redshift Spectrum, I'll say, is more handy or like useful, a use case where we already have some data in Redshift and we want to join it with the data which we are pulling from the S3. Okay. It is like, what are these steps to create an external table, or like to read the data from S3 into Spectrum? The whole process can be divided into the, I'll say, altogether like 4 steps. The first step is, which is a combination of 2 steps, I'll say. The first one is by begin by uploading the data to the designated S3 bucket, which we already aware. If not, please watch my old video. I'll provide the link in the description. And the next, like I said, like step 1 is we have to achieve in 2 parts. The second is like we need to set up the appropriate roles in AWS Glue to enable crawling on the S3. And I'm going to show within a minute like how to set up this role and which permissions we need. And after that, we have to create a database or data catalog in Glue, define the metadata using the crawler, and yeah, that's like step 1 altogether. And the second step is basically setting up your roles for Redshift, or even for the Redshift, and like a proper Redshift permission, so you can like access S3 and the Glue. And after that, like you can start we can launch the Redshift. Like if we want to do it serverless or like a cluster, we can do whatever we want. In our demo, we will do the serverless, and finally just create an external table, which will create an external schema which will refer to the data which is stored in the S3. Okay, so let's jump to the demo directly. Here. So the first thing I mentioned, like we need to like upload some data into our bucket. So I already have a bucket. If you don't, please create it. And as I mentioned, like I'm going to add a link into the description. You can you can check that. So click on Data Tech Bucket, and here I have uploaded like bunch of like I'll say sample files here, and I'm going to like provide these sample files in GitHub so you can use all of them. So that's the step 1. The second step is the Glue. So to go to the Glue, just search for the Glue in the search bar and click on this, and you will see all these things. My bad, like this is because don't worry about this, like you can close that. And as I mentioned, like Glue is like a data transformation and a data cataloging service. So here you can see we have 2 things, like data catalog and integration and ETL. And in this demo, we will be focusing only on the catalog. So now, before we set up a database or do anything in Glue, the first thing we need to do, we need to set up a role for Glue which can access the S3. So we go in, for example, we go in our IAM service, click on create role, and then AWS service, search for Glue, just type Glue, select it, then it have only one, click allow, select that, click next. And after this, like we need to select 2 things. The first one is the S3, because we need to read just type S3. I'm going to give like S3 full access, which is like it's okay when we are doing in a demo, but in a production environment, this is not a good practice. And clear it, then I'll clear. And the other thing is we need like a Glue service. Let me search for this. We need this too. Okay, so click next. So to run a glue crawler on an S3, we need these two permissions. Like I gave like S3 full access, but instead of full access, we can have read only or something like that. But we need glue service role. Otherwise, like you will get an error related to the logs. Name it, and I'll just name it glue S3. I'll say second because I already have one. Then create role. Awesome. So now we have created the role. We'll jump back to Glue console one more time. We click on the databases. I already have two databases, but I'll create a new one to show you. Like, it's very straightforward. I'll just give it name in my database 4. Create database. So now you can see like that's very straightforward, my database 4. And the next step is we need to set up a crawler which will crawl through the S3 files and put them into this database which we created. So we go on crawler. I already have two crawler, but I'm going to create a new one. Click on create crawler. I give it a name S3 crawler. Crawler basically, like, it's just think it as like it crawl through the file, look at the metadata, and provide that information to us. So we'll do next. And is your data already mapped to glue tables? Yes or no? We will go with not yet. And then we need to add a data source. We will add S3. Like, there are other options too, but in our case we will use S3. We then go to our bucket. So I'll go with this. I'll go specifically to the file, so to make our life easy. Otherwise, if you want, like, you can go to a folder, and in that case, like, it will treat each file as a, like, it will create a corresponding, like, it will create a table for each file. So for example, if we have, like, say, I don't know how many, like 8 files here, we will see 8 tables. Okay, but for now we're just selecting taxijohns.csv. It's a CSV file. I'll just click on choose. I know it's look like it's an error, but it's nothing. It's just you click there. And as I said, like, if you want, you can stop at the folder level and then it will crawl all the files, but I want only one specific file. That's why I went to the absolute path of the file. Click on add S3. Then we click on next. Now we have to choose the role. So if you click on drop down, I have only 2 roles already, so I'll click the second one which we created, and rest of things will keep as it is. Then we click on next, and now you can see, now it is asking, like, whatever I crawl, where I'm going to put this database. That's what I was saying, like, when we create a data, like, we created a database named my database 4, that's where we're going to store our that CSV file. So we select that database. Rest of things will keep as it is, and frequency, like, if you want, like, you can schedule it, but we will keep it for on demand because we need to run this for our file. Click on next and create crawler. Okay, awesome. So now the crawler is created. We go and click on crawlers. You will see, let me refresh this. We will have a new crawler, which is, I guess, this one. Oh, give me 1 second. When we create it, yeah, this is the new crawler. Yeah, like this. Sorry, my bad. Like, I should have focused on the name that I already have. But you can see, like, it's not case, like, it's case sensitive. That's why it's treating both of them separately, like, different. So I'll go with the S3 crawler. Click on this and click run crawler. So refresh this, and we can see, like, it's running. You can see here it's running. Now the, like, it will take a minute or so. So in the meantime, we will create, we'll go to our IAM and create a role which or I'll show you. I already have a role, like, it will be very straightforward. We can create it, a role which we need for our spectrum. So we will need we need to set up proper permissions for Redshift Spectrum with S3 and Glue. So I already have this. I just click on this. The process is the same. It's just we need to select these two, sorry. So one is the S3 read-only access, and for the Glue is Glue console full access. I pick full access. You can do based on your requirements. So we need these two, and it's a pretty same process. We go, for example, create a role, then we search for Redshift. We type Redshift, my bad, sorry. Yeah, it's a Redshift, and then we select customizable, go next, and from here, like, we need to select those S3 read-only access and AWS Glue console full access that we need. I'm not going to create it because I already have it, and we already know like how to create this. It's just straightforward. Let's go back to our Glue and see if our crawler is completed. So you can see our crawler status is completed successfully, and it says there is one table with no partitions because our CSV file is not that big. So we'll go to our database 4, and you will see we have a table text John underscore CSV, and this is the location, this is the database name. And so now we have basically in our Glue, we have defined the structure of S3 files using the crawler, or you can say we have registered them as a table within our external data catalog. So the final, now we go to the final step. So I'll go to the Redshift, and I'll go to the query editor. So if you guys have not familiar with the Redshift, I have a video posted on Redshift too, and please check out that if you're not familiar. But I already have a serverless Redshift running. So I'll go to the query editor straight, and okay, so I already have a query ready. So I'm just give you some overview what we have on the left panel. So we have I'll say 4 databases with name DataTech Demo, Dev, Sample, and in DataTech we have 2 schemas, public and my Spectrum schema, and same with DataTech is here we have 2 schemas. So what I'll do, I'll create a new external schema in our DataTech demo, and that external schema will refer to that external table which exists in our Glue. Okay, so you can see we just have so far defined the structure of the S3 tables, or like we just have cataloged the S3 table in Glue, nothing on these like a Redshift side, but like with a simple query we will be able to do that. So I'll do one thing. So if you look at this, let's first look at the query. So query is very straightforward here. Create external schema, then this name of the schema, that makes sense, that's very intuitive, from data catalog. So this is the external that is the external database catalog. So like that means if we go to Glue, these are the databases we are referring there. So come back here, sorry, to our query editor, and I'll say okay, because we created my database 4, so we'll do that, and this is my role. So from like if you go to IAM, from there you can copy this ARN. So how you do this or I'll show you. Once you create your role, you click on the roles, you will have the list of the roles we have. So in our case, we looking for this role, we go here, copy this and paste it in our query. Pretty straightforward. And here also it says like create external database if it not exist. In our case it exists, but if it does not exist, it will create. So if you look at this currently, DataTech already have the schema, so we'll tweak it and we give it a new name. We'll just add _new here. We run this query. So you can see on the left side, we don't have a schema name, my Spectrum schema _new, and nothing. So let's just run this, and it should be done very quickly. It will take some time, but not too long. Okay, let's keep refreshing, because sometimes I found this with these serverless, like the query is done, but like it shows like it's keep loading. Okay, second, it's not expanding. Let me refresh the whole page. So it's taking more than usual. Just we'll wait for like until the system. Just let me refresh this. Oh, sorry, my bad. I saw. So you see, it is done. And if I expand this, I go to this database, data tech demo, expand this, and you will find there is a new schema here. And if we expand this, this is the beauty. As soon as we expand, you will find it says no table, which is 1 second. We'll go to glue. This is my database 4. Oh, my bad. So here the name is like without underscore. So this is my bad. And okay, so one thing was like, if you go here, refresh this, it will show one more, my day. So what we need to do is like, it's sorry, it's just a typo. What we need to do is we need to remove this underscore. So if you like what happens, like we have the database in glue with the name of my database 4, but when I wrote the query, I put it underscore there. So we need to do it again, and I'll just give it a name 2 because that already exists. Run it. It will take some time. Okay, now if we refresh this, so you can see this time it was quite fast. We go to data tech demo, and here we have the new schema. If we expand this, in the tables, you already going to find that text Jones CSV. So here's the link. If you go back in the glue, my database, have this table. So that's what we like. Just by creating an external schema, we are able to like refer to an external table. So that's all. Like that's the a powerful feature of this is like a Redshift. So so in the nutshell, or in the summary, without loading the data into the Redshift, we are able to query S3 data using the glue. And sorry about that typo. We are all humans. We made all these kind of mistakes while writing that. But with that, like you guys might have noticed, because we created a database which it doesn't exist. So that's why, if we go to our glue, there was a new database created, my underscore database 4. So that's all for this video, and stay tuned for upcoming video. Thank you. Have a good one.